right, good morning, guys. How we doing? Welcome back. Morning, morning, morning. To all the familiar faces. Marvin, Chef, Margin, Ponzi, Ty. Where's Larry? There's Larry. Larry. Scott. All a familiar face. Buenos dias. Nvidia 1K, I mean, I don't see why not, to be honest. 1K, stock split, back to 300, stocks then back to 1,000, stock split again, back to 1,000, stock split again, back to 1,000. I don't know, who knows. Jacob, what's up? Ranger. Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't do AMD. I forgot about AMD today. Wow. That's a first. Yeah, I'll throw AMD in there. I mean, we'll definitely look at it in the live stream too, but yeah, I just realized didn't throw AMD in there. Morning, morning. Welcome back. Blockbuster, two-time champ. The Blockbuster, 1994, 1995, two-time back-to-back video game champion. LED, LCD, 1080p. Morning, guys. Lido. What's up, Lido? Thanks on SPX. Yeah, good. Good SPX trade the end of the day yesterday. Tesla, rest in peace. Yeah, man. Yeah, stay out of the Tesla longs. This thing's getting attacked still. MRVL earnings. That's tonight, right? Microsoft off 398. Yeah, we talked about that level yesterday. This thing looks like a good demand down there, Chef. So we'll talk about that again. $50 on the, yeah, I mean, hey, you know, this is something we talked about. Yeah, I'll go over it. Like the downside you saw yesterday on SPY 512, right? While it was more downside than anticipated, I can't say that, you know, you cannot argue with the fact that if you were long at 512 near SPY and you were not paying attention to the exact supply levels that we talked about, there's really no excuse to be stuck in that downside. That's just, you know, I'm sympathetic to anyone that lost off that, you know, that quick downside yesterday on SPY. But at the same time, you know, this was the exact SPY. This was the exact ES supply that we had on our charts yesterday. 5135, 5140, SPY 512. All right. That's exactly where it rejected. Nasdaq rejected right at that previous rejection from Tuesday morning. I mean, just a technical level that you know, got pretty aggressive. So, you know, I wouldn't have expected to be so quick, right? Definitely is a quicker, you know, this is a pretty wild candle to be stuck in right here. But I mean, there was every reason to know that 512 is a heavy supply. So just another technical supply level that got sort of smacked. 512, you can see it did it again, and it possibly could do it again today. So we'll definitely watch that level again. Yeah, we hope Meta's going to pay, man. I mean, it looks good. It looks good. You know, the technical setup's right, so we'll see. All right, guys. Well, let's get started. Hope you guys had a good day yesterday. Press that like button if you guys could. Subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and pull up that economic calendar. Let's go ahead and get started. So here we go. Once again, thank you guys for all the support. As always, we're working on a new T-shirt. Marvin, I'll share with you a little sneak peek of this, guys. This looks pretty cool. You guys already have seen it momentarily, but I'll pull it up one more time. Working on a new design here with Marvin. It's going to be pretty sweet. If you guys want to get some sweatshirts, still have a few left. Feel free to check those out. All right, here we go. So today is Thursday. It's almost Friday, man. Almost Friday. And you guys can see today, 8:30, we do have unemployment claims. So that is something we'll watch here at 8:30, about 24 minutes. We'll get that news to see how that affects the market. We do have some more Jerome Powell testimonies today, so just be aware of that. We'll see what happens, you know, throughout the day. But yesterday, I don't really think it caused much, you know, on the intraday. But 10 o'clock testimony does begin on Powell. Let's see what happened at 10 o'clock. Did anything really happen at 10 o'clock yesterday on the market? Let's see, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. I mean, 10 o'clock was sort of the low, huh? Actually, yeah, I mean, you had a little bit of volatility. Market was just sort of dropping at that point. But yeah, 10 o'clock again today. We do have the Jerome Powell testimony, so let's be aware of that. Let me go ahead and pull this back up. Where the hell did it go? There it is. So 10 o'clock, Jerome Powell testimony, and then that's pretty much it. Tomorrow, we have the average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and unemployment rate at 8:30 as well. All right? So just watch out for that 10 o'clock Jerome Powell testimony, and then 8:30 we will have the economic data to watch there. Let's go ahead and pull up the earnings calendar because there's some interesting ones coming up. We got that MRVL. You guys know we've been sort of talking about MRVL. What a move that thing has had with the semiconductor sector. I believe they report today. Let me just double check of that. Go ahead and zoom in on this. So today we do have Broadcom, which is semis, right? AVGO, that's a big one. We have Costco, which has been a pretty hot move lately. That's your MRVL, MongoDB. So you do have some big ones after hours today to be aware of. All right. This morning you had BJ's, great, love it. American Eagle, BJ's, Big Lots, Burlington Coat Factory. Don't care about any of that, but yeah. So just be aware of these. I would like semiconductors will likely be affected today, right? Semiconductors will likely be affected after earnings today. Broadcom and MRVL. All right. All right. Let's continue. Let's get into the charts. Let's jump right into it. Let's talk about what happened yesterday and what is occurring as we speak. So yesterday, we had sort of that morning rejection of that supply level. We talked about this 18,125. Let me go ahead and go to the hourly chart. So we had this hourly chart that we were sort of watching yesterday, right? We were talking about this supply here. We were talking about the rejections here. We were talking about that 18,150, 18,125 area. That is where we had those previous supply highs. Yesterday, we came into the market, right? And we saw pretty much a perfect rejection at this level, right? Early morning yesterday, perfect supply rejection to start the day. Rebound came in. We got above that 18,125, right? You can see we got above it temporarily, tried to hold it, double top that supply here, right? And ultimately failed. Once we failed, right, it was actually nice. The levels did pretty well yesterday, not going to lie. After we failed back under that 18,125, look at that rejection right there, right? See this? See this right here? That candle, 18,125. We broke it. We tried to get back above it. We tried to get it back above that morning supply, and we failed. And that was really where we slid for the rest of the day, right? So this supply at 18,125 is major. It's major, right? And you can see right now today as we speak, look at where we're trading. Exact same level. So 18,125 is going to be a big supply today on the Nasdaq futures. Above that, you can see exactly where the Nasdaq rejected and had an aggressive downside move. That is right here at that Tuesday high. That Tuesday pre-market high, 18,180, is the exact level we rejected off of yesterday. So levels were leveling yesterday, right? Levels were leveling, and you just had to sort of abide by them to catch those downside moves. So very nice. To the downside, we can see that this daily 20 SMA continues to hold, right? This daily 20 SMA is not giving up, guys. You can see right here, again, we had this last week. Daily 20, strong wick demand off of it. Right here on Monday of this week, strong wick demand off of it. And we had yesterday the downside come in once again to that daily 20 SMA. Right? So I still think that the market is wanting to push higher, right? This still looks bullish to me. While we do have supplies above, and it is our job as traders, like I say all the time, it is our job as traders to protect ourselves near supply levels if we are looking long in the short term, right? Short-term reactions to these supplies will always come in. But when we zoom out and we look at the larger picture, this is absolutely still in a bullish structure. We have, right? Remember we talked about this? We have channel 1 right here. Oh, let me delete that. We have channel 1. And right now, it looks like we're still building channel 2. All right? So you have channel 1 supply highs, which have now turned into channel 2 demand lows. So you're still structuring higher, and you still have a strong market here. Alongside of that structure holding, you still have the daily 20 maintaining price action higher. So do I think that the Nasdaq could still push higher here? Absolutely, right? The longer term analysis, the 4-hour chart absolutely still shows that. But that does not mean that we just buy longs at supply and hope that it breaks out, right? That is not what we do on an intraday. If you're intraday trading, you still need to be aware of the short-term supplies that are on this chart. And so today we have, right? Well, first of all, we'll put some demand levels down here. It looks like right around that 17,975, anywhere between there and around this 17,910, right? This whole area in here, this whole green box, has been holding up pretty well the last few days. All right, we had these highs. We had some lows come in yesterday. We can see that daily 20 sort of holding price action. So we're definitely getting buying stepping up in this zone. All right, so if the market does pull back today and we pull back to this zone again, this could be another long opportunity. If we do not get that pullback today and we just start grinding through some supplies, right? The first one we're watching is, of course, that 18,125, and then the second one we're watching is that 18,180. If we get above 18,180 today, then I would assume that is our sort of liftoff point for more upside. So today, as we open the market, you better be careful being long, right, early morning into these supply levels. I would be very careful being long into yesterday's rejection point, right? This could very easily just be another rejection point that causes downside. So if you really want to see that upside continuation on the market, you absolutely need to be above 18,180. Above 18,180 is where I really think this sets up and continues higher. Until then, you could still reject here. You could still see sort of that rejection back down towards demand. Okay? Nvidia literally goes up every day. Yeah, man, it's an object in motion stays in motion, right? It's there's just no one's willing to take the other side right now, right? It's just an object in motion stays in motion. That's sort of what it is, and we've seen it before, right? We've seen it before. We saw Nvidia, a couple of years ago do the same thing. We've seen when Tesla goes on those big runs back in the 2020. So yeah, you just got to accept it. I mean, it's the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent, right? So Nvidia 18,120, 18,000. I'm sorry, Nasdaq 18,125, 18,180. Right? Those are your two supply levels above. Be aware of those. Just maintain them on your charts and watch out. Yeah, look at the daily 20 hold this whole way higher. So that's what we're watching on the Nasdaq futures today. Very clear levels to maintain, very clear levels to watch. And let's go into the QQQ. So QQQ, yesterday, hourly chart, you guys saw we had this 439. We got above that 439 today. And you can see yesterday, where did the pullback come down to, right? You can see right here, this 435, 435.50. And guess what? It's the daily 20 SMA, right? The daily 20 SMA. Once again, holding this QQQ level higher, holding this market higher. So you can see here on the 15-minute chart, we have this daily 20 right here, right here. We have this 435.50 demand. We're holding it. We continue to hold it. We continue to bounce off this daily 20. The next level is extremely clear on QQQ. It is about as clear as it could possibly get today. It's 442, right? It's actually quite an easy read here today. You can see 442 causing that rejection on Tuesday. Yesterday, exact same level, right? 442. So it's just a matter of understanding your levels and zooming out, not getting tunnel vision on the intraday, understanding where the market is trading into and understanding what could happen at these levels, right? Expecting the worst at these technical levels. The worst thing that could happen today, if you are long, is a straight down move off supply. So if you are long today into this 442 supply, you better prepare yourself for something like this, right? It may not happen, but at least prepare yourself for that type of supply rejection. That is exactly what happened yesterday. So today, you prepare yourself for that 442 level. Be careful being long into it. It could absolutely see this again. If we do see a rejection, right, I think we can come back down to this 439 area. I think that's probably a potential long today of 439. The reason I say that is because if we zoom out on the 30-minute chart and we zoom in, and let's zoom back in, right, 439 has been a pretty key sort of structure point level here around this 439. So I think this could be a demand to watch today around that 439. If you get above 442 today, I think that's clear for takeoff, right? I think over yesterday's highs is clear for takeoff in my eyes on the QQQ. Over this 442, if you get a really solid hold above this today, I would assume the market attempts to move higher, using those two previous highs as a new sort of springboard to upside likely, I would say back up into like this 440. It's like 444.50, like right up in here. Right back up into these previous lows from Monday of this week. Sort of that would actually be a gap fill move, wouldn't it? If we go to the daily, yeah, we had that gap down here. If we get above 442, I'd assume you gap fill sort of back to that Monday close, that Monday low area around that. Let's put it at 444 for now, just to play it safe. We'll keep it at 444 to play it safe. But I think it could go to like that 444.50. But I'll put it at 444 just as a safe, just to be safe as we move higher. So 442, guys, that's the level today. Watch out as we push into it. This is going to be major. You can very clearly see what happened here over the last 2 days. Very clear, 442. So that's the level to watch. ES. Wow, nice ES hold of 51.23 right there. That's very nice. Why is that important? Why is 51.23 important? We'll get into that in a second. First, let's just zoom out, get a bigger picture here. What did the ES do yesterday? Well, first of all, on Tuesday, we had that very strong demand hold of the daily 20 at 50.60, right? We've pushed to the upside. We're back above that 50.90. Yes, in the pre-market this morning, in the futures market, we pulled back to 50.90, had a very strong reaction off 50.90, right? So potentially creating a higher low right here. 50.90 turning into your next new demand. This was a very important level previously. 50.90, 50.90, 50.90, 50.90. 5100 being another important level that held yesterday as well. 5100, 5100. We're back above that. This is 51.23 right here. 51.23 on the ES futures is this previous high right here, right? You can see it very clear. 51.23, major level there, previous rejection point. What else was that? Let's zoom in. All right, let's zoom in on the 15. What else was 51.23? 51.23 was a supply rejection from Tuesday. It was a supply rejection early morning yesterday, right? And you can see right now we are holding right above it. So if the ES is above 51.23, if the ES is above yesterday's early morning rejection, if the ES is above Tuesday's highs, you will continue higher. Where are you going to continue higher into? You're going to continue higher into the yesterday supply level. That is right here at 51.35. 51.35 is the sort of supply zone. Anywhere between 35 and 40 is the supply zone that we have to be cautious of. Right here, you can see these previous lows, right? All this low right here. You can see some of these lows here. Anywhere between, I believe, 51.35 and 51.40 is an area to be cautious of, right? Potential rejections. That is exactly where we rejected yesterday. So if we get above 51.40 and we hold above this area, this is your springboard for the next new high, right? If you can get back above here, turn this into support, turn yesterday's high into support, that is your springboard for new highs, okay? 51.35, 51.40, watch that zone, watch that as supply, 51.23. If you fall under 51.23, it gets a little bit questionable to me on where I'd want to be long. I don't think I'd want to be long, to be quite honest. If we break under 51.23, I would really only want to be long back around this 5100, right? To be honest, right? Yesterday's action was pretty much just a channel between 35 and 100, right? 5100, 5135, about a 35-point range on the ES. I would probably only want, I would only want a long back to this 5100 and 5090 area if we pull back. I don't think I'd long in this zone anywhere, right? I would let this thing sort of slide lower, back to 51, back to 5090. I don't like longing anywhere in here, okay? Anywhere in the yesterday's sort of nonsense move. So 51.23 for me is a must hold to stay, bullish in the early morning. You have to be careful up here, and then 5100, 5090. ES looks bearish on the 4-hour. I don't know about that, my friend. I don't know if you can consider this a downtrend, man. This is possibly one of the strongest uptrends you have seen in some time. I would not consider this a downtrend. Maybe you are looking at the minus ES. this is possibly a downtrend on the minus ES, which is the inverse of the ES. So that's your inverse ES chart. And if you like to see downside, and if you're better at looking at downside, I would say if we were on this chart right now and this was the S&P 500, I'd say, yeah, we're going lower. Okay? So, yeah, that's not the actual chart. The actual chart is this. So, yeah, I don't see much of a downtrend here. So, let's continue. SPY, 15-minute. Let's go to the 30. So you can see right here, SPY yesterday held this 508.50 level. You guys can see right here, this is a pretty nice 508.50, 508.50, 508.50, 508.50, 508.50. And again, you can see right here, 508.50, right? Very strong hold of that 508.50 on SPY yesterday. Even in this pre-market, you can see this major move coming off this 508.50. Today, it is about as clear as day, right? It is about as clear as day. Guys, risk reward's not to the downside. All right, I'm just going to continue. I know we want to fight this trend, guys. I get it, right? I know I want to be the right one that catches the downside. I get it. I know, when's the tank coming? When is rug pull? When rug pull, right? But, guys, there has not been a single day over the last month, 2 months that a structure has been broken on the ES, right? A large-term structure. Like, you got to think bigger picture here, right? We can't be so wrapped up in the 1-minute chart. You cannot be so wrapped up in the 1-minute chart. Let me go ahead and do a clear drawing set here just to give you an idea. There has not been a single day since January that we've even flirted below the 20, right? January, we flirted below the daily 20, right? Since then, we have not seen a single close below that level. That's number one, right? You have not seen a single close under that daily 20. Guys, and trust me, I'm not just a perma-bull, okay? I'm just a realist here. I would be saying the same thing if we were going straight down. But we have to trust this, right? This could go up, right? Everyone thinks like this is how the market works, right? This is actually a good conversation. So let's just do it real quick. Everyone thinks that it can't go another week, right? 18 weeks to the upside. Why not 19, right? Why not 20? Why not 21? Why not 22, right? Why not, right? What in your mind, why do you believe that what you think is going to, right, that it's irrational? Why do you make that up in your head? Why is that in your head? Why do you think, right, that you are going to catch the top and now is the top? Today is the top. Today, right? Right? No, we can't think like that. And I get it, right? I'm not being an asshole. I'm not being, someone that only looks for upside, because I actually trade 100% better to the downside. Absolutely, Billy. And if you've watched my videos, you know that I crush downside. All right? I love trading downside. Downside is easier to trade, without a doubt. But when you look at the market like this, you just can't try to fight this, right? You can't. And so there will be a day that this trend fails, right? There will be a day that we break under the daily 20, that we start to really get weak, and this is when we start to attack, right? But until then, right, all you're doing is a disservice to yourself trying to fight this move. That's all you're doing. You're just doing a disservice to yourself. You're just basically losing money trying to short probably one of the strongest trends in the first 3 months of a year that I've seen, right? And if we look at this chart, right, the structure has continued to remain very strong. You have this structure here, you have this structure here, right? And you've continued to this structure to the upside. So I'm not, I don't say this to try to make people feel wrong, but I say this to try to get, to make sure that people aren't losing money because of, trying to guess when the top is here. You will never make money trying to guess the top. Just trade the levels, okay? Trade the levels, and that's it. So for now, this demand has continued to hold, 508.50. I would not be short into that level, right? I would not be short into 510.50. The only short that I would look for today is maybe another nasty rejection here at 512, right? Maybe you get another nasty 512 rejection here. That's possible, right? That's possible. I'm not saying that that's not possible, right? That's absolutely something you watch today, all right? Let's look to see if this supply steps up at 512. Let's see if this thing starts to get weak, and let's see if this is something that we can short, right? But what do you have to do if you short that level, right? What is the mindset if you short 512 today? The mindset if you short 512 is not, I caught the top, right? We're going down 30%, right? That's not the mindset if you short that level today. The mindset if you short this level is, hey, right, I like this as a short-term supply. Let me go ahead and get a few points here, and let me go ahead and take profits back into some previous demands, right? Because the market is trending up, right? I'm potentially trying to short a short-term supply level. I might be able to catch some downside here, but my mindset cannot be, this is the top, I'm all in on puts, and I'm looking for 400 on the SPY, right? So this is, I think you can short the market in the current environment, but you have to make sure you understand in the back of your head, what's the big picture level, what's the big picture trend, and how long can I stay in this short position, right? So it's just about that mindset. So just be aware of that. So 512, right? You can see right here, 512. Let's see what happens today. Let's look for the rejection here. If it comes in, it could be off the news today, which is about to come out. If we get above 512, then we're moving up to that 513. All right, so we just got our data here. Let's see what the move is. You can see the data is creating upside through 512 for now. We'll see if there's a rejection here, right? There could very well be a rejection here, as I've previously said. Let's watch out for 512. Waiting for data to hit the tape here. Non-farm productivity, 3.2 versus 3.1, so slightly pretty much in line, 0.1% higher. Initial jobless claims, 2.7. So, wow, I've never seen everything match. That's weird. Jobless claims, 217 versus 217, estimated 217. Continuing jobless claims, 1.9 million versus 1.8 million. I mean, nothing is really nothing really abnormal there. So, market seems to be slightly liking it. We'll have to be careful of our supply still, though. So, 512 is a level to watch today. Keep an eye on that. If we get higher off 512, right, we watch right here. This is our next supply here, 513, 513.20. Okay? ES, you can see we're pushing right into yesterday's supply. Be careful there, right? We still, as traders, need to be careful there. Nasdaq pushing right into yesterday's supply as well. We have to be careful there. And QQQ right into yesterday's breakdown point. So, there is one thing only you watch today as we approach this market. What happens at previous day highs? What happens at previous day highs? That should be in your mind at all times today. Do we reject previous day highs or do we hold above them? That's what you're looking for today, early morning, to catch a trade. All right? Russell, RTY. Yeah, nice hold on the Russell at 2060 there. That's a pretty nice reclaim on the Russell yesterday. Right, you can see right here a really strong hold of 2060 still stepping in. Russell's really pushing here. Wow. So RTY looks pretty strong there off that 2060. Watch out for that 2100 above. Dow Jones, Daniel Jones, Mike Jones, John Jones, Chris Jones. I love saying that, man. 38.9 is still the level. All right, 38.9 is still the level on the John Jones. All right, so watch out for that. All right, guys. That's the futures market. Wow, SPY is pushing pretty hard. Let's get into some stonks. Wow, Nvidia's at 904. Tesla POS. The Tesla POS. You might as well change its ticker to POS. Let's change it. So down. It's going down, right? We're still going down. Let's go down to the 5-minute chart because that's really where Indiana Jones. I like Indiana Jones. James Earl Jones. So I think I'm actually going to delete that level. I would simply watch 175 today on Tesla. That's what I would watch. I would simply just have 175 on my charts. This is a major previous low. If we go to the 4-hour chart, you guys can see right here, this 175 is a major previous low on the 4-hour chart. I would simply watch 175 today. What does Tesla do at 175? Do we push higher and do we reject, right? Or does Tesla reclaim? That's what I'd be watching today. If you push higher into 175 and you start to see rejections, very possible reshort entry on a pop and fade, right? Or if you get it back above 175, Tesla probably tries to push back higher. So all about 175 in my eyes on Tesla today. Nvidia, what a sick hold of the Monday highs, right? And so this is why, and I've made a video about this. I know most people probably didn't watch it, but I made a video about this, about how you can tell if a stock is going to move higher and how to accept that it's going to move higher. If a stock continues to turn previous highs into new lows, it will go higher. There's no questions, no ifs, ands, or buts, right? If you see a stock continuing to hold support at a previous high, it will continue to move higher. And so Nvidia has done nothing but continue to turn previous highs into new lows. Yesterday, you can see we had a previous high, right, from Monday of this week, around this 876.50. Yesterday, Nvidia did nothing but hold that as demand, right? Hold it as demand, and it just consolidated above a previous high, right? That is a bullish structure move. You can see previous highs, and we are structuring above it. So as long as Nvidia continues to do this, it will continue to go higher. So today, what is the name of the game on Nvidia? What is the name of the game always on Nvidia? It's pullback longs, right? We don't just chase the upside on Nvidia. We wait for the pullback longs, right? And so the pullback longs have continued to be the perfect long entries. So today, what are we looking for? Pullbacks to previous day highs, pullbacks to this yesterday demand, possibly even pullback to that 876.50, right? Pullback long, pullback long, pullback long, right? We look for the pullback longs on Nvidia. I would say 895 is number one. I'd say 885 is number two. And if you come back down to this yesterday low, that's again a potential long entry. I'm just going to call you A because I can't pronounce that name, but I appreciate you, brother, for the $10 donation. I very much appreciate that. I'm going to call you A. AB. Abe. I'm going to call you Abe. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. The other level that could be something to watch in the extreme short term is 900, right? We could just watch that 900 in the extreme short term. Right here. 900, right? 899, 895. These are the first two levels I would sort of monitor. If you get under 900, you likely gap fill back towards this 895. If you get under 895, you come back to that 885, which could be a great long to watch. All right? AMD. So AMD did some clean stuff off this 211 yesterday, but overall it looks to be more like that 208, 207 level. Let me go into the 15-minute. Let me get a little bit more time here. You guys can see, right? We just sort of held above this high right here. We had this high here from Tuesday that we just held perfectly yesterday at 207. A perfect hold above that level, and we just continue to sort of grind higher here. Today, I would look for either a clean pullback to 211, right? Right here around 211. I would look for a clean pullback to 211. Mr. Singh, I would look for a clean pullback to 211. I'd look for a pullback to 207 again for some potential longs. If we don't get that, I don't really like longing into some of this action up here. So it would have to clear up a little bit for me, maybe like a hold over 215 or something, right, to see how it clears up intraday. But for now, I'm a little bit cautious being long into these highs here. I would personally want to pull back to 211. I'd want to pull back to 207 to get something here. So we'll see. Maybe just a hold over yesterday's highs is the right play if we just see this today, right, over 215. But I would personally, I think 211 pullbacks back to these highs right here could be a really nice entry today. TSM hot, 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 hot. Really, really sick move yesterday. We talked about that 140, right? We had a perfect break and hold above that 140 yesterday. Look at this little break and retest of 140 yesterday. Break, retest, 140, held like a champ. Beautiful 140 level on TSM yesterday. It held it pretty much all afternoon. Today, you are gapping up over this 143. I would personally want either a gap fill to 143 or a pullback to one previous highs 144. Okay? I would look for pullbacks to 144 or I'd look for gap fill 143. Those would be my two long ideas there today. Okay? But what a beautiful hold over 140 yesterday. Gorgeous. One of the cleanest charts that I've ever seen, and a chart that I want to blow up on a canvas poster and put up in my office, is MU. Absolutely beautiful chart here on MU, guys. One of the cleanest break and retest I've seen out there for the last few weeks. Look at this chart for a second and bask in the glory. That is sexiness. So you had a previous high right around this 93.23, 93.20 area. You had a very clear previous high right there. You flagged, right? You flagged to the downside off that high. You came back down to that 89 demand, 88 demand, and you broke out of this flag. After breaking out of this flag, what did you do again? You flagged to the downside, back into the previous highs, flagging, back to the downside, back into, you guessed it, the previous highs. You did a break and retest, and you can see the reaction that's going on. That is technical analysis at its best right here on MU. This is how technical should work. This is just a beautiful example here, guys. Look at how clean this is on MU. Flag to flag, retest levels. Yeah, that's some sick stuff right there. So trade's over at this point, right? You had to be in here. You had to be in at those previous highs. Trade is over. The next thing you're watching now, you guessed it, right? Yeah, I'm sure some of you are thinking it. You're looking for a pullback right back to the previous high to create the exact same setup. 1, 2, 3. What are you looking for here? You're looking for more upside. You're looking for maybe a multi-day pullback, maybe next week. And then you're looking for this to flag right here, back into 98. And you're looking to long here for that next upside push. You're looking for the exact same thing over and over and over again. It's repeatable. It's very repeatable. This is channel 1 with the flag. This is channel 2 with the flag. You're looking for now channel 3 to create itself here. It's just getting through it, right? So this move right here is where? Where is this move in the history of TSM? It's right here. This, right? This right here is this, and it is this, right? It is the beginning stages of the breakout, right? This is step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. 4 is your entry, 4 is your entry, 4 is your entry. Why am I giving away this for free? I have no idea. Yellow Giraffes, for keeping my mindset in check on a daily basis. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that donation. All right, let's continue. Meta. Man, do I want this to work. We'll see. But Meta looks pretty good in my eyes, right? You have this 488 level. You have this 488 level. You have this high right here that's holding all day yesterday. I'm just waiting to see if Meta can get that move, man. I like what this is doing. I like this little flag that I think is setting up here. Right? I just need this sort of push to the upside. The big supply above is 503, 505. It's very clear. We need to get above this 503, 505 area. We need to get above these previous highs for this move to really start to go. So looking for Meta to stay strong today. Let's see what happens. let's see what happens, right? We have this 494 right here, 494, 494. You have this previous high here at 488, which held very nicely. You're making higher lows right now, 1 and 2. I like this little trend that it's on. We need this push. We need this push on Meta. So let's see if this 503, 505 breaks today. MRVL, over 80. Beautiful hold over 80 yesterday. So if you guys are riding MRVL still from our sort of call out, I'd be careful. Earnings are tonight. I think you did a fantastic job, right? You rode this thing out. Beautiful flag breakout on the weekly chart. I would start to consider profit taking and then reassess post earnings. Let's go to Apple real quick. Apple is holding above. It's not quite above, but it's trying to battle back over 170 today. Something you could watch today is to see what happens at 170, right? Can we get back above 170? Do we reject 170? That's the big watch on Apple today. Big watch there. Netflix is actually setting up for a swing, in my opinion, here. This might be my next big swing trade again. Look at what Netflix is doing. I think Netflix is attempting to base at this 590, and I believe Netflix is just waiting for that daily 20 to catch up, right? Waiting for that daily 20 to catch up, waiting for that 590 to really put in a solid hold, and I believe that this pullback right here is something I would watch for continuation. So I would absolutely look for 590 as a long today on a swing trade with a stop under that level or a stop under the daily 20. Something I would be watching. ARM. Yeah, it's coming, man. It's coming. It's absolutely coming, in my opinion. Pause. This looks really good. This looks really good on ARM. I would absolutely be watching this today. It might not happen today. Maybe it's next week, right? But this, to me, looks to be creating, another move here. We have very clear previous highs, which have become very clear lows, which also is being supported by the daily 20. This, to me, looks like it's ready for a potential squeeze. All right, if we can get over, let's say, this little downtrend. It's not even a downtrend. It's actually just a triangle, right? It's sort of that, what do you guys call this? Descending triangle. Is that what the Fib boys call it? So you can see we have this triangle right here, right? And I believe if you get above this and you start to break that 150, this is going to get, that's going to get interesting. So I would watch ARM. I'm probably going to try to throw in some next weeks on ARM and just sort of forget about them here because I do not want to miss this potential. I know ARM can be a mover. I know ARM can be crazy. And I know that if I put a little bit of money in ARM and try to get a large percent, it's very possible. The lockup could cause problems next week. It's very possible. But the lockup could also cause, I'm pretty sure the lockup can also cause insiders to purchase shares, not only sell shares, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see. They'll probably sell when the lockup ends. I don't know. Either way, I'm liking this. I'm going to watch it. Maybe just as a day trade if I have to. Maybe I don't swing it. But either way, this setup looks really good. So let's see what happens there. Google, I don't even want to talk about Google. It's a shit show. It's just stuck under that 135 area in that 200 SMA. You could watch that if you want. Microsoft's sort of interesting for longs, guys. If you are interested in channel trading here, this is probably your spot to long Microsoft, right? If you long Microsoft here, you won. If you long Microsoft here, you won. If you long Microsoft here, you probably win again. Right? Odds are in your favor that you win again off a 398 demand. Guess what else is at 398? You can probably see it on the charts. The daily 50 SMA. Demand. This time around, you have the daily 50. That's pretty strong. If you traded along here, you made money. If you traded along here, you made money. Why not here again? Because what? You're emotional. You're scared. You're scared to lose. Is that why? Right? That's what you have to think about. Technicals would say yes. Longs are correct here. Risk reward is correct. Risk is under maybe that 398. Reward. Actually, let me go. Risk is under that 398. reward is for that push. It's about a 1-to-1 right now, but if you do get that eventual breakout, right, it could be much more than a 1-to-1. So I would be watching Microsoft. This is a very interesting daily 50. This is an interesting 398 low. I would watch it. That's very interesting. SMCI, I think you need a pullback to 1080. That's where I would want to be long on SMCI. On a stock like this, I want to long as close to my demand as possible. I would want to be long as close to 1080 as possible. Right here and right here. Maybe yesterday's lows around 1100, 1090. I would want something like this to re-long this stock. Okay. Coin, strong move over that supply today. Over 238, 238, 238. If you can get a hold over that 238, I would look for that. What's Buttcoin doing today? Buttcoin, it's consolidating pretty well, right? Look at this. Thing's holding pretty well, right? So if Bitcoin can hold this level and continue, I would say coin can most likely, I mean, as of right now, it looks like you can most likely hold this 238 and potentially find a long off that level. CrowdStrike, I don't really like how CrowdStrike gave back like all of its upside. It also fell back below the daily high. I don't like that at all. I'd be very careful trying to long CrowdStrike. I don't like that it's back under 340. I would say if CrowdStrike can get back over 340, then maybe there is something there. But yeah, I don't like that it's back under that daily, right? That daily high. What is that? Actually, let's go to 4 hour. 4 hour high is actually 344.70. 344.70 is still that high from the 4 hour. Yeah, that's sort of where it rejected right here. Yeah, so I'd want it to be over these previous highs to really feel like that could come back. We literally just did Microsoft. All right. Let's get a quick update on the futures. NQ pushing right into the supply highs. It is not broken above, so you can absolutely still see a rejection here, guys. Please be aware of that. Okay? Please be aware of that. You can absolutely still see a rejection there. I'm actually going to turn this green. It could be anywhere between... Yeah, I want to put that 18.1 on my charts too. You could absolutely see rejections at 18.180 today. Please be aware of that. You could see rejections on QQQ at 442. Please be aware of that. SPY's above 512, so watch 512. See if it holds. Next supply highs, 513. ES, you're still sitting right in that 5140, 5135 level. You could absolutely see rejections there as well. So be aware of these levels above. I'll end it with Amazon. The one thing I'm interested on Amazon is the daily 20 SMA hold and this flag. I would want to see Amazon get over 176, and then I would try to long this. 176 looks pretty tough. I do like the daily 20 hold that's going on right now, but you can see some major smackdowns at 176, right? Major smackdowns. 176, 176, smackdown yesterday off this level. I would be very careful being long into 176. I would want it over this, and then I would try it. Intel, I mean, I don't really like Intel as a stock because it just doesn't really perform with the semis as it should, but that's a pretty nice 42 demand there. You can see pretty nice little hold there. All right, guys. That is all I got for you. We have 2,300 people. We have given 0 ads today, and we still can't get 1,000 likes. Ouch. Ouch. If you guys could, please press that like button for me. Help me continue to grow the channel. This is 100% free every day. All I ask is a very simple press of the like button, and now I'll have to run an ad. Thank you guys for being here. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.